I know how incredibly thorough you are, so I'm not going to go through all questioning, and I'll take it that you understand that this is what you're doing today is you're making a lifetime decision that is it's a difficult one. And, you know, when you start racking up convictions on your record, life gets a lot more difficult. The older you get, life doesn't get easier. It gets so much more very difficult. And when you get convictions, you become unemployable the more convictions you get. So you need to be careful how you handle life, because if you don't, I'm telling you, 15 minutes will flash by and lickety split. And if you don't have a job, you don't have a career, you don't have an education, then life is not going to go well. This life is not fun without money. If you don't believe me, go on the street and ask the people on the street. You only get it. You have a trade, you have a job, an education. Do you understand?
It has been a difficult decision because she is enrolled full-time in college and she's working part-time, got a good job. But, well, and we understand how this can adversely affect things.
I'm not interested in the PTI program.
Well, she was in the PTI and there was
I see.
Having difficulty balancing, and that's really, we think the crux of the issue with the issues in PTI was trying to balance full-time job, part-time work, and maintaining a home that first time she's out on her own, not without, I guess, without her parents' help.
Is there any other way no other way we can help?
Well, not that we see at the moment. And we've talked to the state about potentially being back on PTI and about the potential of deferred, and we're not quite there. We talked about potential of going without an agreed rec, but she doesn't want to sign up for a situation where maybe more difficult.
So she's currently in the PTI program now.
Well, no, she's been removed from the PTI.
Oh, removed, I see.
And so we've vetted through the case and found issues we think with where we think there's potential issues in the case, but we're thinking that this is the best way to resolve it. And
you know,
we're here.
It is what it is. At some point, may not be today, may not be tomorrow, 10 years, but you're going to look back, God, why didn't I complete this thing? You know, just, you need to understand that this DWI will go on your record. What we're doing today, it's 3 days in jail, credit for one. From now on, you are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any case that you pick up here. No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. You now have a minimum that you'll be doing if you pick up any more cases. So you need to be very careful when you get into a car. All officers do when they pull you over is they look at your criminal history. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, so you need to be very careful moving forward. $30, wherever you want to go in the city. $40, it'll take you anywhere you want to go when you get Uber. That's what you need to consider from now on, even if you've had one. That's what I do when I go out with my wife. Miss Mom, you give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, there's no turning back. You can never take this off. Do you understand? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. I will sentence you to 3 days in jail, give you credit for one. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days.
We'd ask that go, I guess, have a retroactive application to the suspension that she served from by way of the ALR suspension.
Why?
Well, she's trying to, what's your question? Why, Judge? I'm sorry, I couldn't.
The thing is this, is that how many times are we going to reward someone, especially for behavior when she's doing whatever she wants to do?
No, it's not a reward. It's to make sure that in a situation where she doesn't have a bunch of financial resources, that she can get to school and to work, and she's doing things to move forward in life. And she is enrolled full-time. She's got 13 hours in an engineering program, got a pharmacy tech license. She's working as a pharmacy tech. but also maintaining homes. So the costs and the process of getting a lawyer to represent an occupational license setting be more difficult. She's got her license active now. Asked that suspension that she served, which was a 6-month suspension.
How bad was it in the PTI program? Did she repeatedly just test positive for alcohol and dope?
No, I think there were missed. I don't think there was any positive tests. I think there were just no tests, skip tests.
So I have, yes, the failure of to report and failure to enroll in SOP and failure to maintain.
Did she do anything?
And she's been on an ankle monitor since I got the case, and she's not had any issues with ankle.
And then also, as counsel mentioned, 31 skip tests on the report. So it does not appear that she did much of anything that was required of her.
We disagree with that assessment, but
I mean, reasonable minds can differ. You know, there's also a matter of the $3,000 surcharge as well. What are we going to do with that?
weigh that in light of her financial circumstances.
Do you see what I mean? It's like one
Not a reward,
gift,
it's-
but it is though. I mean, there's no jail time. She got booted out of the program. Now I'm not suspending her license. Now I'm rolling the $3,500 that she would normally pay. It's literally, it's one gift after the other.
It's not, and here's why, Judge. The legislature came in, and I know the remedy is citizens go vote, but a $3,000 surcharge to an individual who has little to no money is a catastrophic amount financially.
Well, we do it, we give a 2-year payment plan, so it comes out to like $30 a month.
And we saw how the surcharge program worked for individuals, and it destroyed their license. And so what happens is then they come back to your court because all of a sudden they don't have a license valid, and then it plugs up our system with Class B charges of driving with license invalid cases. And so it's not a reward. It's understanding that me, as working a full-time job,
Here's what I'm gonna do.
different financial position.
Here's what I'm going to do, Mr. Garris. I agree with you about the money, because to me, the money I don't care about money. But what I care about are actions. And I really like it when people better themselves. It makes me happy because I want you. You are a woman in this life that society, life is more difficult just because you're a woman. Just because you're a person of color, life is more difficult.
Here's a rare moment, a judge shifting from authority to mentorship. He's not just delivering justice, he's trying to spark change. Do you think this kind of personal appeal works in court? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Need to be dependent on no one. And you should get your education. You should get a good job so that you never have to rely on anyone. You be strong, I'll make you a deal. Like, I want to know, you're telling me that she's enrolled in all these things. If she is, and you can show me that she's in school, she's doing this, I'm going to take the money away, because the money, I don't care about the money. But as far as the license suspension goes, if you show me that she's actually in all this, and you can show me, I'll acquiesce to you, because I want you to do well. I want you to leave here better than you came. You've not shown me that so far, though, right? You've not done well here. So why continue to do this? But if you show me that you're bettering yourself now, that you're in school, like you're saying, you're working as a tech there, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Show me, I'll acquiesce.
Thank you.
But in this life, you should never rely on anyone. I have 2 daughters, and the first thing that I'm teaching them is never rely on anyone. You go to school, you get your education, you get a great job, so that you can just rely on yourself, and you can always be on your feet. You can always make money, because when you get that education, no one can take it away from you, and you can always go get another job. That's what life's about. And this knowledge is power. All right. Please. So the 3,000 and whatever the court costs are. Okay. You ready? Yes, sir.
Judge, I'm here on William Thompson. It's a DWI that the state is going to hopefully be dismissing.
It's not all.
We're supposed to, I don't need to approach?
No, it's 118 days, right? No. I mean, once it gets to like 180, then yeah. No. Good to see you, Mr. Lockwood. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Are we ready? Okay.
What's the
Yes, sir. It's a plea,
Good.
DWI. Need the clause number?
Yes, I did.
Let's see.
Here, Les, it's 253-0471.
Thank you, Judge.
Are you gonna do him right after?
Kel Perez, come up. You have more than one or just,
Well, the other one, they're not ready on yet, so we'll hold it off on the fugitive issue.
oh, okay, got it. All right.
Steven was checking to see if we're ready.
Yes, sir.
Charged with driving while intoxicated. Shh. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 2 days in jail with credit for the 2 days that you have done. You are pleading guilty to this offense now, and it is going on your record. Is it a 0.15 or above?
Yes.
Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above breath alcohol concentration, Mr. Kel Perez?
Yes.
You need to understand that
There.
by this going on your record,
Esto estando
it's going to be there for the rest of your life.
allí para todos.
Whenever you get pulled over by an officer, the first thing they're going to look is they're going to look at your criminal history. If they see that you have a prior DWI and then they come to your car and they smell alcohol, it's very possible things will not go very well for you. If I were you, even if you had a sip of alcohol, I would not get into a car and drive because it could cost you a lot. From now on, you are facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for
That's it.
a DWI that you may pick up. No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. Do you understand?
Yes.
You need to understand that you also give up many valuable rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law.
Es federal.
You also give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record and you can never take it off. This
Yes.
is what you want to
¿Eso es
do.
lo que usted desea hacer? Yes.
How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated, guilty or not guilty?
¿Culpable o no culpable? Guilty.
I will find you guilty, send you to the 2 days in jail, give you credit for the 2 days that you've done. I am now going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive. If you drive and you get pulled over, it's on a possible suspended license and it's just like a DWI, Class B misdemeanor. Tell me about the fee.
Judge, I'm appointed on this case.
Solicitado en este caso.
What does he do for a living?
¿Con usted?
I'll be straight with you, Judge. I didn't
Remodeling.
inquire a lot about that.
Remodeling.
What kind of money do you make a month?
¿Qué gana usted? ¿Qué clase de dinero gana? ¿Qué tanto te gana usted mensual?
3,200 mensuales.
3,200 monthly.
You need to understand, Mr. Kel Perez, that I want you to understand that DWI is big business in the United States. And there are surcharges that DPS puts on your license when you plead guilty to these offenses. A DWI second, there is a surcharge of $6,000, not to mention court costs. So if you pick up another one, you could be very well facing up to around $7,000 in fines and fees. $20. An Uber, $30 will take you wherever you want to go. If you want to get loaded, if you want to have 15 beers, 32 shots of tequila, take an Uber. Everybody is allowed to make a mistake in life. But when you continue to make mistakes where you endanger other people's lives, we only have one place for you. Do you understand?
Yes.
I will waive your fines and fees now, but if you come back, get ready, because it's not going to be a good ride. Good luck. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Judge. Thank you. Judge, I have another case.
So it's 4,500 plus whatever court costs are to waive. 45, yeah, it's It's true to the enhancement. So when you have a class A, because of the 0.15 or above, it kicks it up to $4,500. Okay,
Judge, I have a Mr. Angel Ventura on today's docket. Case is kind of old.
Q.
Hey, Judge. Todd Miller, we have a plea.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Well, live update in court. A felony warrant pops up mid-hearing. This is why timing matters in justice. How would you handle it if you were the defense attorney right now?
I got he had an ankle monitor, and I got that waived, but there was an issue with the back pay. For some reason, it wasn't waived to begin with.
Guys, I see he's got a felony warrant.
Well, there wasn't one. I checked about an hour ago. Okay.
He's on probation for credit card abuse, picks up this assault, and I'm looking now, there's a felony warrant for an assault on a security officer, assault of a peace officer.
That case has already been opened, and he's been.
I remember it being open. I remember that we've had issues with this, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Regardless, I mean, we're going to do this now. It's just that if there's an open warrant, I'm going to have to take you into custody. I don't know. It appears to be so, but the computer's been wrong before. Yeah. Take your time. No rush. Mr. Miller, you're charged with assault, bodily injury. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 4 days in jail with credit for the 4 days that you've done. You need to understand that by pleading guilty to this offense, there are consequences that may arise. If you're on probation or parole, this can be used against you, which would result in further confinement. Do you understand? Yeah. Do you still want to go forward with this?
We'd like to see you check with the warrant. I mean, if he's going to be going in, and we may want to hold off on the plea today.
Okay, it's up to you here.
Who was issued to the judge?
Hmm?
Who was issued to the for themselves?
It's weird because when I looked earlier this morning, because I knew he had bond violations here. The reason you're here now is because you have bond violations, right? And when I looked earlier, there was no warrant.
Yeah.
And when I just pulled it up now to look, a warrant has been issued. They issued a warrant 8 minutes ago.
Okay.
And we does this give a reason why?
Bond condition violation.
There you go.
Okay.
Mr. Miller, when you're on bond, there are conditions that you must follow. And when you don't, there are consequences.
As of right this moment, it is not current. It is sitting on the judge's thing to be signed.
He's saying
They issued it by the clerks, but it hasn't been signed, so
it's that's where I'm seeing it, but it is not showing up in Jim's as of this.
I need to know what you want to do. Do you want to go forward with this plea or do you want
Will
to?
he be going into custody because he hasn't been signed yet?
He's got bond violations with me. He's on probation, picks up a case. Now he picked up a felony case. He's got bond violations with me.
Yes, but if we do the plea in here, the bond violations are
Yeah, if you do the plea, then you do the plea. It's up to you guys.
signed
Yeah,
yet.
I'm,
Okay. All right.
if it's not signed, no, because we can't do anything to,
Well, what I will do is I will just verify, just to make sure, if he can be able to, I will just call in.
I would just be, Mr. Miller, see, you're skirting a very thin line, man. You know, you tell me what you want to do.
No, if he can leave today, I think that's what you'd like to do is take the.
If we do the plea and she hasn't signed it, I have nothing to hold him. But you need to understand that it may at some point happen. So
He does have court for this case, that the felony case next week. So that would give him some time to get something set up with a bondsman and get something worked out.
I don't know. So do you still want to go through with this, Mr. Miller? So, yes? Okay. So you were charged with assault, bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 4 days in jail, credit for the 4 days that you've done. Understand that, like I told you, there are a lot of rights that you're giving up. You're giving up the right to a trial. right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never take this back. Will go on your record and it's going to be there forever. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand? If you're on probation or parole, you also need to understand that by pleading guilty to this, they can revoke that probation or parole and it can result in further confinement. Do you understand? Do you still want to do this? Okay. How do you plead to the offensive assault, bodily injury, guilty or not guilty? I'm going to find you guilty. I will follow the agreement, sentence you to 4 days in jail. I will give you credit for the 4 days that you've done. I will roll your court costs so you won't know anything. And good luck to you, sir. You, Mr. Avinash Chun. You speak English? You were in front of me now because you're what?
He's wanted out of Denver, Colorado, is my understanding.
Okay, you want a bond?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so the reason we brought you out here now is because your lawyer is asking me to set you a bond. I don't know. I've never met you before. I don't even know why you're wanted. But a couple things. Number one, and my main concern is public safety. Number two, my other concern is if we set you a bond, are you going to go back to the jurisdiction that you wanted from? I don't know. Let's get to know you. So, Day, tell me about him.
So it's 10 pages and I'm trying to read as fast as possible, but my information is limited. It's regarding a
10
negligent.
pages of criminal history?
No, sorry. The affidavit for the probable cause. I just received it as he was being brought up. And so I'm reading this in real time. But
Wouldn't it take more time?
well, I know you have to go to court 3. I can supplement after the original approach, but the warrant was issued out on December 25th. So on Christmas for negligent bodily injury. I'm reading the probable cause. There was a well-being check request on December 16th, where this defendant was in care of 2 individuals, and his negligent care was sufficient enough that when they investigated, they believed the children required or could have had sustained infection, required amputation, or even death. And they found dried blood. They found, hold on, sorry, it's reddish brown stains on items behind the bedroom door. It goes on for some time, but it's generally sort of disarray and injuries all over, malnourishment. But I spoke with the demanding jurisdiction and they are requesting him be held at no bond until.
This just turned dark. Neglect, special needs victims, potential amputations, and it all unfolded over a Christmas investigation? Real-life horror story. Should people charged with this kind of carelessness ever get bond?
He is returned to the, they do want him, and if the court.
If there's only 1 count or 2 counts?
I think there's 2, but they're under 2 different statutes. When I run the NCIC, the warrant from Colorado, it looks like he's being charged under 2 different statutes, but because I just got the information, I don't have the charging instrument.
Is it negligent homicide or is it negligent?
They're not dead, but it's that the possibility, just because of the despondent state of the living conditions, the 2 at-risk individuals.
Minor children?
Caregiving center operated at the residence.
Or just special needs?
I can. Looks to go on some time. Text from November 25th. Oh, here we go. It's 2 adult males with intellectual developmental disabilities. And so vulnerable complainants. And I believe one of the arguments that counsel was bringing for him to obtain a bond was that he takes care of autistic individuals, and obviously him being charged with these felonies or even 1 felony of vulnerable individuals, it becomes a public safety risk by the nature of what's already happened. And so with it being over a month and with the conditions of children being, like I said, almost amputation or death, and I can go further into
Any
the
prior criminal history?
No, Your Honor. But the fact that it was for such a long time and due to their state, and so I'm not sure if they were at point in their condition, like physical or medical condition, is that they were unable to leave. Obviously, that'd be more akin to constructive kidnapping, but I don't know yet because again, I'm still reading through it.
Constructive kidnapping.
Well, just because if he's malnourished them or deprived them to a point where they're unable to physically capably leave. The well-being check started in November, but I don't think they did a wellness check until December 15th. Again, I don't know. I'm just reading parts of it. And so I don't know to the extent of it before law enforcement was notified.
Yes, Judge. So a couple of things. First, this case is from Adams County, Colorado. My understanding is that my client was in Sydney, Australia when this warrant came through. He was in Sydney on the day that December 25th when the warrant came through. He came back to go back to his hometown. And during that period, the warrant came through and he got picked up. So this.
Oh, I was wondering why he's here in Houston. Are you telling me that he had a flight connecting to
So
Denver?
my understanding is there's no direct flight from Denver to Sydney, so he had to come through Houston. And so on the way out there, the warrant was not issued. And while he's over there, the warrant's issued. He's coming back. He gets picked up for it here in Houston. Now, it's a charge. We went through a whole bunch of stuff. This isn't probable cause court. All that stuff is in Colorado. That's not here. Here, we're talking about a fugitive case, public safety, and whether or not he's going to turn himself into the demanded jurisdiction. So a lot of public safety talk has been going on. If he were over there and we're talking about public safety, it would be rectified by just saying, don't go talk to whoever is playing witness, right? And so that's the jurisdiction that has the authority to do that. Here, we're just trying to see if he's going to go answer for this charge. He hasn't been running from anyone. He got picked up immediately after he came back into the United States. He is not a flight risk. He came back into town. He didn't know this was out there, and so he hasn't been running. He hasn't had an opportunity to avail himself to Colorado. He hasn't messed up in your court. He's got no criminal history. He's got family that supports him, that's willing to post a bond for him. He's got skin in the game if you allow him to go turn himself in.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just reading the kidnapping part. It says, asked if they were allowed to leave the basement. She stated no. Regarding the targets, asked them to go back downstairs when they come up.
Again, Judge, this stuff is irrelevant to whether or not he's going to go turn himself in, whether or not he's been on the run, whether or not he even knew of these charges. If he needs to answer for that, he can't answer for it here in front of you. Can't argue against that here. That's in Colorado.
So part of what I'm trying to figure out is if they've notified him regarding this warrant, and obviously that's going to play a part if he was notified to return himself and then he went to Australia. Obviously, I'm going to have a few more questions.
You want to like pass it for just maybe 5-10 minutes and take a look?
Yes, Judge.
Do that. Because I've got a couple things to do here and it looks like he doesn't have all the questions answered. Give me just maybe like 5-10 minutes. We can come back and reconvene so that you know exactly, because if I set him a bond, I want you to be absolutely sure of both of you guys.
Thank you,
Please.
Judge.
Okay, thanks. Okay, are you ready?
Sir.
You have Mr. Cook, correct? Come on up, Mr. Cook.
Morning to you.
Hi. You want a chair, Mr. Cook?
Use the bar here. It's just, it was getting too long for him, so I'm like, let me move him that way.
Mr. Cook, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the 9 that you've already done.
Yes, sir.
You need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You get pulled over. First thing officers do, they're going to look at your criminal history. If they smell alcohol on you and they see that you got a prior DWI, it may not go very well for you. So just be very careful next time you get into a car. You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never take this off or try to change this. Do you still want to do this?
Yes.
How do you plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty? I'll find you guilty, sentence you to the agreement. I am going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck to you. Thanks. Wave. Okay, you ready? Yes, sir. Masai Mom, come up.